So, you've found the introduction. You may be among the lucky few who actually get to listen to it on release, or you may be a brave explorer of the archives looking into how it all began. Well, you are about to be informed. Hello and welcome to Valiant Growth, Episode 1. My name is Philip Frey, and today I'm going to introduce this brave new podcast. Let's begin with the name. I believe that significant growth always entails courage. It entails courage both in the face of others and in the face of ourselves. While society on paper encourages growth, try and go outside the norms and you will often see that that is not really the case. There's also a strong encouragement of avoiding negative emotions and this kind of hedonistic approach, and that is antithetical to growth, because growth does really shake us up. It does bring up a lot. It can be painful, it can be scary. The people in our company who are used to us being one way and who do not wish to grow themselves will do everything to openly or covertly sabotage us. And just in general, radical growth often requires really radical, outside the norm ideas. Radical in the sense of going to the root, but radical also in the sense of it being uncommon, unusual, and upsetting. And that will result in some attack. And that is why it takes a lot of courage to grow. The aim of this podcast is to give you the ideas that will help you along this road, and also to help you develop your own, to stimulate your thinking, also to create a community that is valiant in its growth orientation, and to help you and me find people who inspire, to be inspired myself, and to be a source of inspiration. I also aim to get personal benefit from having a podcast. In fact, I think it is something that's beneficial for many people in that it helps focus your mind on growth or whatever you aim to achieve. And it also helps in finding people who who share these goals and who can aid you in achieving them. I will be addressing the topics where I found the most value in my own life: personal growth and success, self-knowledge, psychology and therapy, relationship, philosophy, and personal finance will all be addressed, as these have contributed great value to where I am right now. It is a pretty broad field, and there are many subjects that can be useful, and actually often you get a lot of value out of the interplay of subjects. And this is one of the reasons why I'm starting this podcast, because there are not enough people out there who really blend in these subjects successfully, and especially in the success community, there's a lack of focus on self-knowledge and depth, to be honest. While in the self-knowledge community, it's often very remote from action. So I wish to blend these into one. And there will be a certain kind of flexibility in my choice of topics, because this podcast will reflect my journey of growth. So if something comes up that I find interesting and that I believe can be valuable to you as well, I will definitely include it. I also want to clarify the fact that I'm most interested in addressing subjects with depth, ideas that matter, to use somebody else's slogan. I don't want to coast on the surface with hacks and tricks and techniques. While they will definitely be addressed, I want to be one of those few sources that actually try to connect to something deeper in you and not just coast on the surface. So to give you actual examples, some of the questions that I plan to address in coming podcasts are: how to become wealthy, how to build self-esteem, what is the key to great friendships and romantic relationships, how do you find your purpose, how do you develop and maintain energy, conviction, and courage in the face of a cynical and, frankly, aimless society? Well, these are all pretty ambitious questions, and I don't claim to have found the ultimate answer, but I can definitely give you perspective in achieving them, and we can grow together from there. In fact, it might be interesting to see as these questions reoccur, the new facets and dimensions that we explore. The impact that I plan this podcast to have is to create a group of mentally healthy, financially stable, purposeful, empathic, courageous, freedom-minded people who are in healthy relationships. I see a lot of trouble in the world, and I also see that there are many people who do not wish to live lives of growth. So I don't aim to change the world, but I aim to help create a subgroup within society that can lead fulfilled lives and that can successfully protect itself, mainly psychologically. That's what I'm interested in. In this podcast, you will find reviews of books, interviews, and solo podcasts such as these where I will be addressing a certain subject. I will be reviewing relevant books, and this will be my first source of monetization. So usually when I will review a book, I plan to include an Amazon referral link, which means that I get a small percentage of the price if you click through it. I will, of course, only recommend books that are of value, or if they are not, I will be very clear about it. So I believe that I can avoid this conflict of interest. I will not be looking for the most expensive and fanciest books just to get referrals. And I plan to release 3 or 4 shows a week. There might be some variance about it, and I have to see how the routines set in for myself. We'll just have to wait and see. So you might want to know a little bit about myself before you commit to listening to this podcast. I'm a 23-year-old male, and I have moved to the United Kingdom from Eastern Europe a year ago. So you might wonder, okay, this is a 23-year-old guy. What on earth can he offer me? That is, if you're if you're significantly over 23. Well, all the areas that I talk about are areas where I have grown a lot in the past years, and I'm talking of personal experience. I do not believe that I can deliver a master level of any of the subjects that I will be discussing. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a self-knowledge guru. I'm not a relationship counselor. But I do believe that I can provide great value to people who are new to this world or who are familiar with some of the subjects that I discuss, but would like to be introduced to others that can help them. Another source of value that I can provide is recommending books and resources that you will find valuable in going in deeper into the subjects. And of course, as the podcast grows and as my knowledge grows, there will be an increase in the level of expertise. So how can you follow this podcast? I will give you many ways. I have a YouTube channel, Valiant Growth. There is a website, valiantgrowth.com, and you can follow your favorite podcast feeds. There will also be an app for all major phone brands, but smartphone brands, but at the moment that is under construction. So Thank you for listening to Valiant Growth, and I dare you to flourish today.